So this story goes back to the year 2019, kind of where it all began. Hunting in this doe with a rack, something I never thought I'd say. But in 2019, I acquired a property that I used to be able to hunt back when I was in high school, so 20 years ago. And always wanted to hunt this farm. We always have farmed it, but we didn't have the hunting rights. So in 2019, I started throwing out trail cameras, got permission to hunt it. First couple of pictures I got were this kind of a freaky little buck, if you will. Just thought it was a cool looking buck. Kind of looked a little funny to me with its nose, so I saved the pictures. Probably like 120 incher with all the freak stuff. Never saw that deer again after Velvet. So 2020 rolls around. Again, throwing out trail cameras, doing food plot prep, just really hit it hardcore, making trails through the woods, trying to make this property that I don't own better hunting for the future. It butts up to a property that me and my brother own, and I knew for a fact that I was always gonna get to hunt it. So we basically started doing land improvement stuff, planting CRP and just food plots all over the place, making water holes, just making it a deer heaven. So anyway, 2020 rolls around, and again, running trail cameras. I get a picture of this deer, and I swear it's a doe with a rack. It just looks funny. And to me, it kind of looks a little bit similar to the deer that I had prior in 2019, but it went from a non-typical look to a typical with the same kind of wavy main beams. I keep track of pictures. I'm just like, this has got to be a doe with a rack. It's just typical. Next year rolls around, she changed a little bit, not much. And I actually seen her once hunting. Couldn't get her on film, but she was running with like a whole herd of does, which I thought was odd. From the neighbor on his gator or something, pushed a whole bunch of deer by me at like 70 miles an hour, and she was with a whole group of does, and I thought, this is just kind of different. It's got to be a doe. So the way this lays out on a map is everything to the west, I have permission to hunt it, and everything to the south, I had permission to hunt it. There was a 120-acre farm right in the middle that nobody could hunt. No access, you couldn't go in there to get deer. It was anti-hunting, nothing for the last 20 years. Nobody's been able to hunt this farm. So 2022 rolls around, kind of the same thing, and I get a phone call from that neighbor saying, hey, we're thinking about, we're selling our farm. Would you be interested in buying it? Of course, I jumped on the opportunity I could to buy this farm, and we closed in like 2 weeks and bought it. Didn't really hunt it very hard, kind of literally just hunted the edges, left a little bit of corn standing, paid the farmer that farmed it to leave a little bit of corn, and put a blind in it just to kind of observe the new farm. And one of the first sits, I took Claire out there, my oldest daughter. We're sitting in the blind. I think we have already shot a doe at this point, or was getting ready to shoot a doe, I can't quite remember. But this deer came out, and I said, Claire, that's a goofball. And I'm pretty sure that is a buck or a doe with a rack, which when you're 7 years old, you don't understand some of these things.
How did she get racks? It's not fair to any other girls.
I mean, it's like a 1 in 10,000 shot to even see a doe with a rack, according to the Google machine. I don't know what the odds are of actually killing one, but she came out. That was the last time that we seen her, and it was about a year ago. It was in November, I think it was the 15th. So about a year ago, and she just vanished. No pictures, never seen her again. Vanished. This deer shows up in Velvet, and I'm kind of baffled because it's actually like its biggest rack in Velvet. And it's actually a pretty nice deer, so I'm like, what deer is this? I get ready to go hunting because at 12:30, I get a picture of the buck that I wanted to shoot on the farm, Wilson. He's a 5-year-old, just a giant 8-pointer. I've had a couple run-ins with him already this year. He's just a really nice, beautiful 8-pointer. Got like a sack thing that hangs from his gut from one of the neighbors wounding him years ago. But he's just a beautiful, beautiful 8-pointer. And he's been dancing around this blind. But anyway, I got a picture of him at 12:30, heading the opposite direction, like off my farm. So I'm all ready to go, showered, scent free, walking out the door, and Claire goes, I want to go hunting. What do? You don't tell a kid no when they actually want to go do something in the outdoors. So I I just basically didn't do what I was gonna do. We got her hunting clothes out, threw them on. She didn't shower. We weren't scent free by any means, and just hustled, literally hustled to the blind. All right, well, it's November 12th. This is the day that I've shot more deer on, big bucks on, than any other day of the year combined. We had pictures of Wilson, big shooter buck on this farm, about 100 yards from here, 150 yards from here, at 12:30 today. It was midday cruising. We were doing something right in there, which is right over here across this field. We just got set up. I brought the decoy in here, got Claire, and I look up and there's a spiky looking buck just coming into the field, into this food plot. So already moving really early. For some reason, I don't know if there's a hot doe over in there. And if Wilson is around, it's 2:19 right now. So if you see a deer, Claire, you let me know. But so Wilson was basically walking this way, and I've kind of got a little stretch of fence over there. It's only about 100 feet or so, and what it does is it basically blocks the deer from coming out of that corner and it pushes them up this way. I'm not sure if it works. Just did it this year, but who knows? So, like I said, we got the decoy out. It's super hot. It's like 65 degrees. And we already got the first deer of the night out here. Can you pause the movie for a couple minutes? Kids these days. Are you that bored? Yeah. Well, hopefully we start seeing some deer, because this is kind of boring, but
Cross my fingers.
yeah, we're gonna probably rattle here. See if we can't just pull something out of the timber. If it's close, they gotta start up, get it up, and start moving a little bit. But are you okay? What's wrong? It's basically in the middle of 4 big bedding areas, so it's a great location to rattle. What deer is that? Oh, I think I do know that deer, actually.
Who is it?
I think it's a 4-year-old.
Is that Wilson?
No, that's not Wilson.
Oh.
Just a big old 4-year-old. We're not gonna shoot him, but he's pretty, isn't he? Oh, I see another deer. Okay, there's that. think it's goofball.
There's goofball.
The doe with the rack. I gotta watch that because she's really old and smart. I haven't seen her since last year when you were here. Remember? Never been on sheds or nothing. Here comes Goofball. Holy cow, I haven't seen her for a long time. Or him or whatever you want to call it. Very smart. It's like a 9-year-old deer. Never runs. It acts like a doe. Not sure how it'll come into a decoy, but you never know. It's gotta be a doe with a rack, or it's a buck and it's just not active.
Gonna kill somebody else tonight.
What?
Are you gonna kill somebody else?
Well, if Goofball, this deer here, gets closer, I'm shooting it. Just gotta get closer though. Watch back here, okay? Something coming. Keep looking up. Don't feel clear. You ready, Claire? We're just getting to the farm. Walk back here and just kind of see what we can find where she kind of walked in. I kind of got it marked as a big white tree. Looked like it was kind of where she ran into. Basically just looking for blood, arrow, whatever we can find. This deer's either dead pretty quick, because that's kind of where the heart is, protected by that shoulder, lungish area, and all those arteries coming off of the heart, or she's gonna live to see another day if I didn't get enough penetration. So this deer's really smart, very smart, intelligent critter, and you could see it tonight on the video. Just come out, just really slow, just paying really close attention to her surroundings. So to get a shot opportunity with an 8-year-old in the blind, filming with a bunch of deer all the way around us. We had deer right below us, right behind us, downwind, the whole works, is pretty remarkable. And super lucky to even get an opportunity. Like I said, been after this thing forever, and I don't know. We're gonna go see what we find. Hopefully dead deer right there, that'd be great. All right guys, well, I'm just walking across these beans. There's the blind right there. Just walking up to this white tree, kind of knowing where she went. I just came across the blood. It actually looks pretty darn good, honestly. Got a lot of red in it. And there's quite a bit, so, I mean, it's all over. I'm really optimistic that I got something good. I'll go up here and see, but man, look at that. Man, you can definitely follow it. Pretty hardcore. We might have got lucky. Oh yeah, there's blood everywhere. Almost looks like a hard shot deer. All over the tree. Okay, so there's blood all over it. Lots of blood though, I can see it. I mean, it just looks like a hard shot deer. All right, where'd you go now, lady? Oh, where are you going? Lots of blood. All right, this is where it gets hairy. This is my bedding area. 40 acres of this tall grass inside the timber. It's just now getting to the edge of it. We're probably 55, 60 yards from the field edge. Got lots of blood. Lots of blood. Pressure. Oh my gosh. That's just a ton of blood. How is she not laying down dead somewhere? I think I see her. No, that ain't her. Dang it. Hey man.
Where do you want me to go?
Where are you? Go to my truck. Go to my truck, and then there's a mowed path right there. Just follow it. You'll see me. Well, the cavalry has arrived. Where?
Right there. See him?
Yeah, that's where I was just. That's little though, isn't it? Looks like a coon or something.
Straight there.
Yeah, I see it.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a dead deer right there. Right here. Yeah, a dead deer.
I don't know. Something solid color.
No, that ain't a deer. Is it? That's a deer.
so.
I think that is a deer, isn't it?
I think so.
That's I see a rack. Shoot, I stood right there and talked to the... Oh my gosh. That was a coon. Coon just went up that tree.
Was it?
Oh my gosh. Freaking 10-year quest.
Okay.
Moment of truth.
Let's see it.
Moment of truth. What are you?
What we got?
It's a doe.
Is
No
it really?
freaking way. I told you. I told you.
She's a giant for a
Dude.
You were right all the time.
Freaking drilled her too. Oh my gosh, it's a doe with a rack. Oh, she's been dead since I got here.
Yep.
Oh, how do you even... Dude, she is a humongous doe.
Big.
I'm gonna win that doe contest. Oh my gosh, it's like shooting a, I don't even know what.
Once in a lifetime.
Once in a lifetime.
So now what do you have to tag it with?
Surely a buck tag, right? I thought it had to be any tag over, or any inch over 3 inches or something, points. I don't know. I ought to call Brad and say, hey.
Text him. Dude, she's a nice deer too. She's it.
It?
It's a nice deer.
Goofball, that's what I called her. I called her Goofball. Gosh, look at those front teeth. Gone. Almost. She might be older than I think she is. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. And she'll probably score 130.
Oh yeah. She got 25-inch main beams.
All right, guys, well, here she is. It is confirmed. She is a doe with a rack. Something that I'll never accomplish again. When I first got permission to hunt the neighboring farm back in, I want to say 2015 or something like that, I got pictures of this deer. And I couldn't figure it out that it never swelled up, never rutted, never worked scrapes, never got his picture on a scrape, never And one day I saw a buck chasing this deer 3 years ago across the field, and I just thought that was the weirdest thing ever. And yeah, last year, probably around this same day, me and Claire were hunting on this field up here, and she came out, walked across the field, never presented a shot, and I told Claire, I go, I think that's a doe with a rack. And I never saw her again. It was almost a year ago, besides on pictures. I never saw her on the hoof again, and she just showed back up on a couple cameras not too long ago. And Claire's first sit this year was tonight. She came out and she goes, I think we're gonna kill something, Dad. And I was like, no, I don't know. The deer we came to hunt was in here this morning at noon, and at 4 o'clock was across the farm. So, you know, I was just kind of sitting there thinking, well, we'll shoot a doe or something. And then this thing came out, and there's just, holy cow. I can't believe I shot a doe with a rack. And it's pretty typical. Normally they're all really goofy.
Those ones they used to shoot over at Cuba. Remember that when we were kids?
Oh my gosh.
Big non-typical ones over at Cuba.
This one's look like this pretty much every year. Pretty similar to this every year. This might actually be her biggest rack, but she's got to be 9 or 10 years old, and I bet she weighs, I don't know, 140, 150 at least, gutted.
At least.
Big doe contest, I guess.
Right.
We have confirmed she's got no male parts. It's
Take out the checkbook graph.
just crazy. Just crazy. Doe with a rack. Yeah, a little far forward, but she went, oh gosh, there's just so much blood. We just kept going. Oh. Never hung a 130-inch deer on the wall before, but this might be a full body mount.
She's got really cool pedicles on top of her head.
Oh my
like
gosh,
above
they're
her
just,
eyes
they're,
where her actual the horn starts to come out.
Yeah.
It's different. You know what I mean?
yep. Hardly any teeth from what we can see. There's just not much left. So I'm gonna have to go back through all my pictures. My hard drive deleted in 2015, but I'm pretty sure I got a picture of her in 2016 and she was this big. So super smart. This is a, man, I couldn't be happier. It's like shooting a 220-inch deer. except it's a 130-inch doe.
Well, this is definitely a first for Bowhunter Die, a antlered doe.
Pretty cool.
Confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, what do
Where
you
do
even
begin
say?
with
I
this?
thought
No nuts? I don't know.
I thought it was cool that just the way that the whole story worked out. And that's one of those things where it's like, you can never plan for that or predict that. Like, oh, I got permission here and got a picture and then ended up buying the farm next door and then this deer comes out. Like, it played out for Tyler the way like you would like it to, but we know that that rarely ever happens. But man, what a cool hunt. I don't know if he's actually getting it full body mounted. He said in the video, I'm gonna have to ask Tyler.
I want to know if he's going to get this full body mount or not.
Dude, a full body mount? That's gotta be expensive.
I've always kind of
right?
wanted to do one though. I've always
Really?
thought about it.
Yeah,
You
it'd
not
have
thought
to be
about this?
something like this, though, right? A antlered doe. I keep wanting to say a bearded doe for some reason because I think bearded hen, you know. But I keep wanting to.
But how
say
would
that.
you mount it? Would you mount it where you couldn't see, where you could see the nipples, or I mean, I mean, I'm just saying, like, what good is a mounted buck if you can't tell that it's
Front and the back on the wall,
Just half and half?
half and half.
or have it hanging like,
Like
on
cut
a
it in
hanging
half.
pole?
And
If you had it on a hanging pole, you know,
that would be an
I don't know.
interesting mount for sure. I don't
That's
know
what
that
we
I would,
need in here.
I probably wouldn't do a full body mount. It just takes up too much space.
I agree.
I don't have that much room.
Amy would love that.
My wife would not approve. We could put it next to the bed. The bedded doe, antlered doe in the bedroom.
But speaking of antlered does and late season, what's going on? You getting
In
soft?
late season.
Well, it is late season. I mean, dude, it's December. Are you? What are you doing? Are you trying to hunt? Are you? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm still hunting. I mean, it's been a little hectic around the office here this week, so
Always is
no
hectic
hunting
around the
this
office,
week for me. I'll probably hunt Friday if it's not raining. It looks like rain. I mean, this weather is just not very conducive.
I'm not feeling it right now. I'm just not feeling it. We got
I
a whole
have-
subject we can talk about
I have
later.
3 bucks confirmed alive locally that I would like to shoot. Maybe even a fourth one who's an older deer, but he's just not very big.
That's
on
pretty impressive. 4?
that. I mean, 2 of them are on my bow only county my Lake County spot. So and I
Justin's
know
been
they're
holding
alive.
out.
No, not really. One of them has been there all year. The other one disappeared. My last picture of him was October 5th or 6th, something like that, and he was gone. And he did this last year as a 3-year-old, and I was like, okay, he's gonna show back up around Thanksgiving. Didn't show up. Now all of a sudden it's December, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. I'm thinking, okay, this deer must have gotten killed while he was gone. He shows back up on like December 5th or 6th. So he was gone for 2 solid months. Got a couple pictures of him, so I know he's alive and he's around. So yeah, most of my attention will be on that. My kid still wants to try to shoot a buck, so I gotta, keep him in mind. I don't get to hunt all the time.
You better keep him in mind. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see
about
when I
you?
get.
You got anything that you want to even kill? It
No,
gets hard
I'm
this
still
time of year.
depressed
The
with
pickings
Troy
get
shooting my big one. I'm still looking for.
What about the other big one that was in Troy's video?
Dude, that is not coming near me. I haven't got a picture of it. I have
That
no
thing is
deer.
a
I'm out. I'm out.
magnum.
There's nothing left over there. I got to go somewhere else. And then my new farm. I'm a little depressed over there too, because
Neighbor issues,
yeah,
neighbor problems.
just kind of. If I wanted a high fence, I would have bought one.
You're halfway there.
Yeah.
Finish it off. Then we could kill big ones every year, Todd.
Man, the neighbor has decided to put up a cattle fence that I don't think I can squeeze through. I mean, I don't even know if a buck can jump this thing. It's just really kind of frustrating. So,
And you think they did
property
it just
ownership.
To,
That
just
should
to
be.
mess with you?
I think that should be a conversation that we're going to have after the season. Just the truth about buying property. I think we need to pull in multiple other people.
It's
and start
not all
talking
it's
about.
cracked up to be.
Well, there's just a lot. There's a lot more than you realize when you look at the big picture. But we can say that for later. It's the holiday spirit. Today happens to be our Christmas party. So let's not take this down a negative path.
Let's not go down
There's no reason.
the negative road. Let's stay positive with our buddy PJ.
Well, this
How
might
can you
not be so positive
Why?
because I just happened to come into the office today, and this is Justin's target.
Well, just an FYI,
This
preface that.
is for the Lancaster Classic coming up here, guys. If you haven't registered, make sure you register.
Todd's getting out his jump to conclusions mat.
There's no jump to conclusions. This is the only way that I potentially have a chance of beating Justin if a lot more of those happen.
Well, you got to ask questions. First of all, the target was already shot before I started shooting it
Nope.
last night. I just didn't put up a fresh
Anybody
target.
could say that.
Second of all,
This is pretty
I
good,
was
though.
sighting my bow in. So I'm shooting my phase 4, which I had taken the sight off entirely and moved it over to my lift. So I had to adjust my rest for my fatter arrows.
Look at this shot way up here.
Pin to hold it in. So I took 9 shots last night. Brando, I'll send you the picture of my last 3 shots because they were all 11s. And I took 9 shots. I had to move my sight.
Please do
to
me
sight
a
it in.
favor.
I even sent it to PJ and I said, I'm ready to go.
I want you to
And he
comment.
said, if you can do it once, you can do it 20 times in a row. I was
All
like, I
I
don't
need-
know about that.
All I care about is one thing. Please comment below on what you believe is the best deodorant to get me through the Lancaster Classic without
Dude,
completely
I thought you were
kitting
just
out.
going to say, what's the best deodorant so Justin doesn't smell? Because that's one of my biggest fears in life. I was like, God,
No.
do I smell?
No, but dude, I don't know what, it's like you got all this white over you. But anyhow,
It's from our new shirts.
bottom line, if you've got a deodorant that you recommend that is guaranteed to not make you sweat, I need to
You
know.
need an antiperspirant for that.
I need something serious. So just post below because that freaks me out. Every time I've gone and shot that thing, dude, it's
can't
like
wait.
I am never lifting my arms up
All
doing
right.
that. Okay, what
Let's
does PJ
ask
got for us?
PJ, our resident expert.
this is a
question
really good
says,
question.
my bow sight is bottomed out. What should I do? I brought my bow to the bow shop and they just moved my pins lower in the housing. Well, let's see what PJ's got to say.
All right, guys, question today from a bow hunter who says that his bow sight is bottomed out. And he mentions that he took his bow into the bow shop and all they did was move the pins lower in his housing. So I'm going to guess it's a sight similar to this. In other words, not a movable sight, but rather fixed pins. But in any case, one of the first things I would do, if that's all you want to do is just get more distance out of your sight, I'd raise your peep height. Now, you don't want to go crazy. You don't want to take it out of your anchor, but just small movements you can make and still maintain the same anchor. It's just going to raise that eye level a little bit. And then to compensate for that, you have to bring your sight up. So if you're bringing your sight up, that gives you more room underneath. So that would be the first thing I would change if you don't want to change anything else. Of course, some other options you have are to shoot a lighter arrow, which is going to go faster. That's going to give you more distance because your pin gap's going to shrink. Increase poundage, same thing. That's going to give you faster arrow speeds. That's going to give you more distance as well. But I'm going to guess if you don't want to change anything else, I'm going to say raise that peep height. Just raise it a little bit. We're not talking much. That will give you more distance out of your sight.
All right, well, thank you as always to PJ Riley and the folks at Lancaster Archery. PJ did yell at us for insinuating that there was other people behind the scenes giving him the answers and that he was just the talking head.
That had to been you that said that.
PJ was a little hurt, so we're sorry, PJ, for...
He can't be too hurt. He sent me a photo of him wearing our shirt, but it was when he was in a bathroom, so that was a little weird of a...
Depends on what he was doing with the shirt.
I just don't know.
Might have been wiping his butt with it.
I don't know. That's bad.
All right. Let's move on to the final segment of today's show, trophy photos. One of our favorite things to do around here.
I love the trophy photos.
I like Todd reading people's names. Let's do it.
Bailey Appleman, Illinois. Brandon Baker, Illinois.
Casey LaJoy, Iowa. Dan Buzicki, Wisconsin. Joel Brune in Minnesota.
Landon Lentz, Minnesota.
Casey Legolas, whatever, I'm sorry for, you gotta give us like a pronunciation guide when you have a name like Legois.
Ooh.
I feel like it's Legoy. Like people, I was talking to some guys from Ohio the other day and they actually said Illinois. Like for real said Illinois, like not as a joke. I was like, do people not know you don't say the S?
These are some good bucks here. This is good.
Yeah, but what's the best photo, Todd?
I got my pick.
I went with Casey. What'd you think?
Brandon broke some rules, but I like the water because Casey broke some rules too, man. There's something.
He did?
Well, the back end of the deer looks like he got hit by a car.
Maybe he did.
I'm just being honest, and that's fine if that's what it took to finally catch up to the deer. I'll take anything.
That's a big deer, yeah. I'd run him down. Is that legal?
No, I don't know, but it's a big buck. But I just think that back end, he needed it. I don't know what's going on with that back end.
Well, he just got that leg it's a little far forward. He couldn't bend it because it gets stiff, right?
Takes
you really got to work.
Yeah, you got to
use your muscles.
You got to
so
tighten up your core.
Brandon was my number 2. So let's go with Brandon. Sorry, Casey. Todd vetoed you. Brandon Baker, Illinois. Great buck.
Brandon, you're going to thank
really
me for
nice
that.
deer. So congratulations to Brandon and to all the folks who sent in their photos for this week's episode. Guys, we only got a few more episodes left for this season. So if you want to win,
24.
You have to send your photos in, info@bowhunting.com, or send them to any of our socials. Slide into our DMs with your buck pictures. That's all we got, Todd.
With that being said, if we don't see you until the holidays, happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
What's on your Christmas list?
I am much like you, Todd, and then if I want or need something, I kind of just go buy it for myself. So I'm really hard to buy for, so I tell everybody gift cards. I go Home Depot, Amazon, and Bass Pro, or Tackle Warehouse, because you can never have too much fishing tackle, in my opinion. That's it.
We should have a fishing competition one day on my pond.
We should. You know what's terrible is I hope that I can get Home Depot gift cards so I can go use them to buy things like salt for my water softener. It's terrible. I'm not even buying anything good.
That's how you know you're getting old.
Dude,
when you're thinking about buying salt with your gift cards. Dude,
it's expensive.
You can go get tools. You get something more fun. That's a good point. How is it possible? That's another thing. Comment below. How is it possible that you can smoke through this much salt? I mean, seriously, dude, I go through salt at my house. I swear those things are set up to eat salt so these salt companies keep making money or something. It's out of control.
How often do you have to fill yours up?
I don't know. I'm putting back, I bet you I go through 50 bags a year. Easy.
No.
Dude, yes.
I probably
Yes.
do half of that.
I think the more I put in, the faster it goes out.
And dude, I got 5 people in my house. You got 2. What are you guys doing? It's because you got one of those showers that's got like 18 shower heads in it, so you're using so much extra water. It's gotta be, right?
There's, it's a scam.
Interestingly enough, I know when I last filled up my water softener,
scam.
it was right before I went to Kentucky, because I always have this fear that I'm gonna be out of town and my water softener is going to run out of salt, and I'm going to get the text from my wife complaining that we're out of salt and you're not here.
See that look?
So every time
That's the
before
joke.
I go on a hunting trip, I fill up the water softener. That's like one of my things. So I did it right before I went to Kentucky, which was the first week of September, and then I just did it like a week ago. It was like the first week of December. It was like 3 months it lasted.
All I know is I wish I was in the salt business because
You gotta turn off a bunch of those shower heads.
it's not the shower. I don't have that many shower heads. There's no
If
way.
you've got more than one, you've got more than most of us. How many you got in there? Come on.
Dude, okay,
4?
fine. There may be 8 in the one,
Eight.
but I never use them. I put them in
Your
years
wife
ago.
does,
no,
probably.
she doesn't. And
She's got them all on, and
There's
she's in there
1,
for a half
2,
hour
3,
steaming
4,
it out.
5, 6. Okay, not 8. There's 6.
I got.
But we never use those, dude. I mean, he has a separate handle for those.
Well, I don't know what
All
you
right.
guys are doing to use all your water.
I don't
but
know.
Thanks.
If I'm gonna send salt for underneath Justin's Christmas tree.
Hey, that's much needed. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bow Hunter Die.
Guess what? I found it. What do you think it is? You think it's a buck with a rack or a doe with a rack?
Goofball.
It's a girl.